100%. It is nice having different views, and we are
Yeah.
live. We just,
Okay.
I feel the need to apologize to all listeners currently and in the future for the fact that we just had an amazing conversation with you guys not here. Sorry. But I think we'll bring that up a little bit later on today. So Juan is on holidays, but he managed to show up today, which is fucking
Oh,
fantastic.
yes.
I feel very blessed and lucky, frankly. We're just gonna kind of wander through some crypto news. And I was talking to Juan about the question that Always Geeky asked yesterday about his son and being in coding and what the ramifications are. I actually listened to I'm gonna send this to you if I haven't already. I don't think I did. There's a 4-hour conversation with the guy that wrote that 160-page fucking essay from OpenAI. Like he was on the super alignment team that they mothballed. But it wrote this insane thing about the future that's coming very, very quickly, like before the end of this decade. And so I read a bunch of summaries of that and then listened to them for 4 hours over the last, like, just from yesterday. And my brain is just like, and really, like, I'm sort of talking about it now. We're gonna get into some crypto news, but where we landed yesterday with Always Geeky is like, whether you're coding or honestly whether you're doing anything else, my firm belief is you get close to the AI and work with it every day in some way. You get to pick how. There's a million different ways to do it. You can, and if you don't have any ideas, ask it for ideas. It's fucking real good at that, right?
Yes. With AI, the blank page problem for writers and
done.
for anybody, it's gone.
It's done forever.
You always can start with something.
Yeah, that's that even if it was only ever just that, that's like almost an order of magnitude state change for our ability to be creative. It's just nuts. So this morning, I've been talking to myself for a long time. I got to start walking. I got to lose some weight, blah, blah, blah. So now every morning I'm just going to take OpenAI for a walk because you can do the whole voice conversation now. Right. And so we'll do some like daily check-ins, and we actually started building a daily check-in system while I was on my walk.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's going to have like structure for tomorrow. Which is going to be interesting. And just like we started basically coding a mini app together while I was on a walk, just having a conversation, which was kind of fun. So hey, if you're here, we got 11 people here right now. Please share the show out. Like and subscribe if you haven't. I mean, I'm assuming that you totally have. Towards the end of this show, or maybe somewhere in the middle of it, I don't know. Juan is going to come up with an amazing word. And if you DM at Nefty Show that word, you're going to be put into a raffle to get one of the 50 spots that we have to get packs for the Anon drop of all drops. And I get more excited about this all the time. We have like 20 different partner projects again that happened like fucking lickety split, which was really fun. And I think most of them are sending in some presents, like just little gifts. So the tickets that we're going to send out for the I just missed the word. We didn't do the word yet. I was letting everybody know we were going to do the word. But in these packs, you're going to have a ticket. You're going to be able to use multiple tickets in the fair launch. That's going to run for 24 hours. Everybody's going to have a good chance to use them no matter where they are in the world. But in these packs, there's going to be like a percentage chance of getting a present from, one of our 20 partner projects. Yeah. And I think the way the packs work, maybe more than one, right?
But you know what's crazy is that everybody is so enthusiastic about giving something that I think that we will end up with more presents than what we will get out of tokens for this drop. It's crazy.
Maybe honestly, like it really, like it's really, it's good. I mean, and this is always the thing too. Like I was having an interesting conversation with Dapper Gents about, some projects want to like really focus on just what they're doing on just their community or whatever, and like have fun do that. I'm constitutionally unable to do that. Right. It's so much more fun to do it in a collaborative way. And this is just, it's fun. Now, I know like it's an interesting organizational challenge, but I mean, we're getting already better at that. Like I'm getting better at getting people all of the information they need right up front. So we're not making it up as we go, like a week later or whatever. Right. But yeah, it's really cool. And the projects that we're partnered with are fucking awesome. And I am genuinely excited to let people know who they are. And really, like, it's a good promo thing for them, right? Like somebody's going to be surprised and delighted by getting something that, maybe Bricks puts out, because I think they're sending some stuff in, or that Betsy puts out, or somebody might get 1 million Upliftium. There's going to be 50 of those people, right? So like just that little surprise and delight thing Scran mentioned a couple times has been coming up every couple hours in my brain in the last little while.
Yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah,
and I really like how people want to collaborate and to give something away. I think it's really, really nice. I like the vibe.
Me too. I like the vibe. Amen. It's very happy vibes.
Yeah.
It's very good stuff.
Absolutely.
It's good shit. It's good shit. And I think I have a suspicion. Well, and Juan, I don't think we're necessarily building the culture. I think it was already there. We're sort of like discovering and gathering the people that had this vibe already, right? In a very fun way. But I feel like we're also training our community to be like this, right? Like we might start making this shit into the app.
I think that, I think we're not training anybody. I think what happens in general is that people are good. People want to collaborate. People want to bring in the best and do the best for those who are around them. We are just bringing them together. That's the only thing that we're doing.
Yeah,
but people are already good, and they want to do cool stuff.
I think you're right. That's a much better way to put it.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, well, fucking good vibes on holiday right now. What's going on?
Yes.
All right, so I asked GPT-4o what are the 10 biggest crypto news events and trends from the past 4 weeks. And here's what we go back. So Bitcoin price surge. Bitcoin saw a significant rise, crossing 67,900, driven by favorable market conditions and increased institutional interest. That's from Crypto News in the Block. What do you think?
I think that's not completely accurate.
Okay.
Because you had the German government selling Bitcoin a few days ago, and you also had the US government sending 4,000 Bitcoin or something like that to Coinbase. And that is what is not allowing the price of Bitcoin to go up. Nevertheless, in the last couple of days, the inflows for the Bitcoin ETFs have been positive, although very small in terms of what they normally do. But of course,
it's net positive.
Of Bitcoin net positive, yes.
See, I already love this. We could go with like what a simple AI search does, and then you get the real shit from Juan. This is already better than I hoped.
But that's what I like about AI, because AI comes with something, but you do also your research and you find the different stuff, and you can make a much nicer way, because what AI said, it's true, but I think it's slightly behind the latest news.
That's and honestly I think this should be a recurring theme for us. We were talking off air about the conversation Always Geeky and I were having yesterday, about his son, coding, and should he pivot him away, and where we landed on that conversation eventually. It's like I'm looking at it from the perspective of, AIs by the end of this decade will be able to write full apps fucking easily while everyone's sleeping, and they'll be good, and that whatever. So, and then where Juan and I landed is like, you definitely don't want to pivot away from coding, because you understand, the questions, the way you put it, actually, Juan, like you understand the questions that you should ask, which I think maybe expand on that a little bit while we're on it.
And I think it's not only the questions. What happens is that AI is very good. It's a tool to enhance your productivity. But in reality, you need to know what to ask for. If you don't know anything about coding, how are you going to ask the AI to create the right code? It's like managing a development team. If you have a development team, you can have genius coders, but you have to be able to ask them to build the right thing, the right tool, the right whatever. It's very easy for people to think, oh, I need something like this, or I need a solution for this problem, which might not always be the right question. You need some knowledge. You need to guide your team in the right direction. I think the same holds true for AI.
Today, yes. This year, yes. Next year, yes. The year after that, there's going to be agents that can do all of that 24 hours a day times 100.
Probably, but I don't fully agree. I don't fully agree because although I love humanity, I think there are a lot of dumb people who won't be able to ask the right questions.
So this is where the other point I wanted to make about that is that you can very easily create an agent that will help you ask the right questions. Just like at every turn, when it comes down to like, is there an intractable human only question? Can I make an agent or even just a set of prompts that can handle that? And the answer I always find is yes, right? Because it's just one level, a step up on the sort of meta cognition or whatever.
But the problem I see with that is that I think it will end up being something like what you see with Google today. If you go to Google and you start searching for something, you will get the answers that Google's know that will be valid answers for you. It will not give you the answers that you don't want to read, that you are not interested in. And I think the same will happen to AI. There will be a huge bias because AI will learn, will get to know you,
reinforcement learning.
Will start exactly.
So I think that's going to be a very interesting question, and I think for the people that ask the right questions, right? Well, it's dangerous, but we could take a model right now, you and I, and automatically with a very simple system prompt at the top level, just say, don't ever do that, right? Like we build the product that is tougher, right? Like that, like. So coming back from the question that if there's a problem with AI can solve it. Like that's kind of always where my head goes. And it feels easy to imagine a system that could, because I agree, like the training data is now going to get trained on all of us using AI. Like that's no matter what any company says, your data is getting used to train AI. Trust me.
Absolutely,
like that's happening.
But I like to be kind of naive and think that we will always need the combination human being, AI. I want to believe that AI won't be able to do things on its own, that it will always need a smart human being on the other side, guiding it, and you will be able to do to make better decisions, to be more productive, to do whatever in a much better way if you use AI in the right way. But I want to believe that AI on its own won't be able to make the right decisions.
So I definitely
best decisions.
It's a long. So I mean, I think in the near term, I very often go back to the until very recently the best chess player in the world was an average computer system on 2 laptops and 2 decent chess players beat grandmasters and the whatever the IBM thing or whatever, right? Like just some kind of that combination is the superpower. And I absolutely agree that in the next 3 years, that combination is the superpower. And I hope, and I'd love to build for the future that, our future with super intelligent AI, which is coming, is that it's constantly asking us, sort of what kind of experiences we want to have, and we're sort of engaged in that. Because the podcast that I just listened to yesterday, and I firmly believe this. They're going to come up with agents because honestly, like we've got agents that we worked on. I don't have time to work on them now, but like Tuttle and I can build those. And if we can, you can bet your ass that big teams are doing it right now. Like making agents that can operate independently and do it relatively well with system checks and whatever. But that's like the basic part of that is coming.
I think that the problem is the relatively well, because it's relatively well. And that's
right
and
now.
That's all it will ever be.
Remember, no, that's not true. That's not true at all.
Ever.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, at least that's what I want to believe, because I want to believe that
you're going to get disappointed.
Will maybe
you
not.
Are. I can prove it.
Maybe not. I think I will never get disappointed because I don't want to really get into that game to the extent where AI is driving everything for me. I think that's not even interesting for me.
I don't want that personally for me either, right? And I don't think most people will. But I think that it's now a trend fact that they're gonna have. I mean, what they talked about in this podcast, like you're gonna have agents, but you're gonna have agents that can, simulate being an AI researcher. At the PhD level, and then you can have 1,000 of them working at 100x human speed, and the numbers that he produced basically were that'll produce the same number of raw tokens as the entire memory of the internet right now in a day, right? And again, like there's a whole like, how make them work in teams, blah blah blah. They asked some really interesting kind of managerial questions that didn't make sense at all, because like 20% of them could be coordination. Like Tuttle and I have like worked out how to do all that stuff, and we're stupid. Well, she's really smart. I'm pretty dumb, right? So like the whole idea, like having that much raw compute is coming, right? It's coming in a way that I don't think, like I barely understand it, and I have my face stuffed in this as much as I possibly can. So when they do that, like super intelligence is coming in our lifetime. And that's something that like I spend a lot of time thinking about and we don't understand. And literally every question is the AI going to be able to do this? Yes. 1,000,000 times better than human beings. And it doesn't matter what the question is, right? We're going to live in that world inside of like maybe 20 years. Honestly, probably much less.
I think that for superficial questions, yes. For deep questions, for questions that require feelings, that require love, that require really being a human being.
Yeah.
I don't think AI will be able
I think it'll be much better than the average human, and then it'll be much better than Gandhi. If we start unpacking it, like I understand that hope, but again, like, could it, and this is what we always think about, like when we start talking about, creating sentience in AI, what we really talk about with MetaMinds is that we simulate it, right? But to me, if you simulate sentience, have you created it or not? Like that question is interesting enough that we're fascinated by it, right? So when these things have literally all of human information in them and can hold that in a kind of RAM or context in a way human beings never could. And if we were to say, okay, we want to create an agent that can maybe even at the beginning that could help us with, diving into our own emotions and, having these experiences of love and finding, profound questions or what have you. The whole idea is like we're, and this is kind of my view, right? We're deterministic, meaning that us as human beings, we're meat robot machines, and we're running software on a meat computer, right? And some people believe that there's like a gestalt bigger thing than that, and that there's souls or whatever. You can't prove it, so I don't believe it, right? So that's just me.
But I don't believe we are deterministic.
Okay.
I believe we are undeterministic.
How so? How is that even remotely possible in a physical world for an atheist? I'm very curious.
Well, let me ask you the other way around. Why would we be deterministic?
Everything is deterministic, provably at all times. We've done tests. Like every test we've ever done shows that this is a deterministic universe. Like every physics test, every biology test, every chemistry experiment, every single time, deterministic. Every element of DNA, every element of DNA error, like literally every process we've ever discovered with science or anything else shows one thing: this is a deterministic universe.
That I fully agree with you. On that regard, there's nothing I can say. But I'm talking more about being, about yourself, about what you cannot touch. Because even if we say everything is deterministic, as human beings, we are more than only what we physically are. That's only very superficial. I think that we are much more than that, and that is not non-deterministic. It can be very predictable in some cases.
This is the thing, like
it's non-deterministic nonetheless.
It's maybe a more inspiring world if that isn't deterministic. I think based on the fact that we're all software engrams running constantly in a meat robot brain, that what we experience as awe and this thing that is the gestalt much bigger than the sum of its parts is still just software, and that software is running in a deterministic universe. It's just complexity, right? Now, I think seeing things that are that far away from entropy, like we're basically saying fuck you to entropy so hard all the time with life that it's amazing.
But I think that's exactly the point.
Okay.
If our brains were perfect, if we were perfect as human beings, then we would be really deterministic. But this combination that we make of DNA and black and these tiny variations make us non-deterministic. And that's, in my opinion, the beauty of life. If we were deterministic, this will be so freaking boring and so bad.
No, because like in operating from the position that this is a deterministic universe, and again, nobody's ever been able to prove anything other than that, and there's trillions and trillions of data points that that's the case. right? So starting from that position, assuming that it's deterministic, it's even more beautiful in that regard because of the amount of complexity that exists now and the amount of complexity that we're creating, right? The whole idea that we have this intelligence thing, and like one of the first big things we decide to do once we figure out the Industrial Revolution is like, hey, let's make a brain that's 1 trillion times bigger than ours.
But wait.
That's amazing.
Let's just stop there. We might think that the Industrial Revolution was a great thing. I think Industrial Revolution is the beginning of the human being decadence. If you think about this, the moment we started with the Industrial Revolution is also the moment when human population started to grow exponentially, and we are destroying our planet with that. We created a very strong economy. We created a lot of things, and all the comfort we enjoy today is thanks to the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
But we are not fully aware of the consequences of what we did with that.
And
As humanity.
Most people definitely aren't. I think one of the things I've been really excited about this year is the Ray Kurzweil, I think it was like 9 years ago, said that solar was going to double every 18 months until it handled global demand. And, for 9 years, I've been tracking that, and we're on point for that. Right. And the amount of solar and wind that got created just this past year is massive. Right. So again, like if you poll the majority of human beings, the majority of them have no fucking clue and they don't care. Right. And that's whatever. But
and that's the biggest problem.
It's not great. It's not opinion. Great. No, we could track that problem on a lot of other vectors as well. It's not great that in the age of the internet, so many people are getting the news from I'm a stupid dumbfuck.com. Like that's a lot of shit out there, right? But like the if you look at the trends, would I like to see us deal with global warming quicker? Yes. But are we actually dealing with it? Also, yes. Like that, like if you look at how much is actually getting committed to and how much is getting tracked and done, it's really huge.
But you're leaving behind all of what we don't understand about it, because there are many things that we say, oh, that's global warming, that's climate change. Fuck no, that's not it. That's only the regular cycle. And that's when you have to say, okay, these guys who do not believe in global warming and blah, 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 are right to some extent. And all the guys who do believe are also right. Because
don't give those guys space. The global warming thing is, there's no debate about it. Like it's not a debatable thing.
But what I disagree with is when they blame something. They say this is global warming. It's complex that it's too difficult to know what is global warming and what is not.
Right,
that's
and it's on a statistical basis. Right, like if you see it, like one strong weather event is not global warming. If
that's my point.
If strong weather events are up 50%, that's global warming. Right, or there's a statistical likelihood that it's connected, right? You got to get into the whole thing because sometimes you have aberrations or whatever, but that trend is clear.
But still, as everything, whatever happens in the world happens in cycles, and we were not here for the previous cycle, so we don't really know.
No, that's actually
what
not true.
Is part of the cycle and
we
what
really
isn't.
do. There has never in the entire historical record of temperature on this planet been a change like this ever.
Yeah. Okay. When did we started measuring temperature?
You can actually measure. You can measure temperature variations from ice cores going back like 1 million years.
No, you can make predictions. You can make assumptions. You can say, okay, we think this was it.
Yeah.
But it's like the weather. The weather is one thing, and the weather report is one thing. The weather report can tell you it will rain today.
Yeah.
You go out with your umbrella. And fuck, it's as sunny as never in the last 3 months.
That doesn't show the ice core data is actually it's trending on really interesting things, and they don't just take that, right? If you take that kind of data and then you actually run through geological strata and test the trees that were around at the same time, they match, right? So that's not trivial.
No, I agree it's not trivial, but what I want to tell you is that we cannot have 100% certainty that was exactly like that. That's the only thing I want to tell you.
No, I think that's not ever having 100%.
Not ever having 100% very accurate ways of saying it was like this, but we cannot be 100% sure. So that's the thing. And one thing is, everybody said, oh, this is a storm. Okay, storms are bad. Okay, if you're a sailor and you have been in a storm, you will have a very different opinion about a storm than someone who was at home during that storm.
Yeah.
Because you know that's freaking different.
Yeah, it's fun.
And so this is a little bit what I'm saying. We don't really know how it was because we were not there.
So I love anytime we can not have 100% certainty. That's a good thing for you and me. My worry about that is like, oh, you can't be 100% certain, so global warming is not real is the next thing that they say.
No.
Right. And that's like, I don't like leaving the opening for that. Obviously, because it's not true.
I disagree with that.
Right.
Fully disagree with that. Because global warming is a thing.
Yeah.
But what is very difficult is saying what is really global warming. That's what I
really
think
like none of that matters, right?
To,
like that part of the conversation is irrelevant. Global warming is a thing. Yeah. Should we try and deal with it? Yes. Right. And we are. And I think like the thing that I get excited about is like if you'd asked me 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been like, nobody's doing anything. Like it's long tailed, like the stuff that they're doing isn't going to keep temperature down enough, blah, 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 blah. Right. But they've made some, commitments and it's working. Like it really, really is working. And technology is kind of, taking a huge run. So in this podcast, though, they're talking about the next big thing for like AI right now is running at like a certain level of compute. It's probably like a significant percentage of the compute on the face of the planet. But it's going to 10x and then it's going to 1000x, right? And so they're talking about like 10 gigawatt systems that, you'll basically have a million AI researchers running at 100x human speed, right? Or equivalent agents, whatever, right? Doing all sorts of crazy shit and inventing new agents to solve problems, blah, 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 which is something that Tel and I already designed. So they're obviously going to do this. But like running at amazing scale. And that's going to have, it's going to have the power requirement of a state. Like of Colorado, like, and so like, electricity production, even while we're dealing with all the solar or whatever, like all of this stuff is going to ramp up. It's going to ramp up huge. Like the amount of electricity getting produced by the United States is probably going to go up 20% this decade, which is insane. Right. And that is going to contribute to global warming in a real way. But I don't care because AI will fucking solve for that in 10 minutes.
No, but that's not what really matters. Just think about this. Because now that I'm on holiday in Italy, we were discussing with my daughter this morning how the Roman Empire was so important and so big, and they were everywhere in the world, and it fell.
I don't even want to talk about that because it's too soon.
What happened to Spain? Spain was also a huge empire at some point. They had all of what is not North America, but from Mexico to South America. Everything was from Spain. All of Europe was from Spain. They were huge. And now it's only a small country. So every empire, every civilization reaches a point where they can no longer handle their stuff. Will AI be whatever makes our current civilization to go down?
No, it's not going to go down. It's going to make it history.
No, you don't know.
I don't know. And this is, I have a firm optimistic bias about this, but my certainty is not 100% for sure. There's a lot of ways this could go very badly. And that like part of the thing that this guy was talking about, he's very into the sort of national security ramifications of it, is very, very certain that the Defense Department is going to probably nationalize AI at some point because they have to. And really the security around it right now, they're all freaking out about it. He's freaking out about it because he's assuming that the Chinese government's going to copy literally every bit of it. And because they're going to be able to ramp up electricity power faster than us.
Wait there, you are assuming they are going to copy it. What is stopping them from creating something even better than what we have currently?
I mean, they might, but historical precedent says that they won't.
Oh, I'm sorry to tell you there, but most of the things that you have today come from ancient Chinese civilization, also Japanese civilization, and so on.
Not relevant right now.
There are things that I tend to disagree with that.
What was the last major development? Yeah, what was the last major development in science that came out of China?
To be honest, I cannot tell you, but I can tell you something very basic, which is electric vehicles. The biggest competition from electric vehicles in the world is coming from China.
You know how?
It's fucking all the brands and builders here anywhere in the world. Chinese are developing cheaper and better.
No, they're not. They stole all those plants. I'm
They are
telling
not
you right
skilled.
now, they didn't develop them. They took them. And now, granted, one thing and this is really important, I think. A couple things they did that are really important is they took the plans that, like the designs that they reverse engineered from all the stuff. And you just Google it. There's a bunch of stories about this. But hold on.
Reverse engineer it because Tesla is open source. All the Tesla
a
stuff is
lot
open
of it.
source.
It didn't start open source, but you're right. A lot of that stuff is open source, which is really fun. But their capacity to ramp up manufacturing is something that we can't do over here with open markets, right? So that's a huge thing. So they can, even if they're using, chips from, because we won't sell them chips anymore. Like probably the smartest thing Biden will ever have done is the CHIPS Act. You can Google it. But that's sort of an interesting constraint. But they can ramp up 20% electricity production just by saying they're going to do it, and that's something that we can't do, right? So they've got advantages. Like they don't have to be able to train the best models, because the best models are like from this year are open source next year, right? So they're behind us in important ways, especially for like artificial superintelligence. Like the window to get to ASI and the power of being first, like whoever gets to ASI, like true ASI first, it's done. Artificial superintelligence.
Super intelligence, not general intelligence.
AGI is like having an AI that's as smart as me, which isn't that interesting.
Yeah.
ASI is having 1 trillion of them all operating, together.
Okay.
Right. So guys, the podcast is it's 4 hours. It's ridiculous. And they say a lot of things that I didn't understand and I had to Google. So like there's a bit of, nerd speak or whatever. But yeah, like it's really, really nuts. Like yeah, I mean, obviously, this is all I've been able to think about.
Yeah.
And seriously, like the level of complexity that artificial superintelligence will come up with will be vastly greater than the sum of its goofy little transistors in a deterministic universe.
I hope you are right. Even if I don't know if you're right or you are wrong, I hope you are right, because right now I'm very annoyed with a lot of human beings that if I go to the bank, they are very stupid. If I go to customs office, they are extremely stupid.
Like,
if I go there,
yes,
if
that's going to get solved. Yeah.
Awesome.
No, that for real, like that customer service will be probably, one of the first things to get completely altered. Because like at any point in customer service, like there's a like a better thing. Like you can take all of the interactions that everyone in your business has ever had in a customer service thing. Like if you're a big corporation or whatever, right? You can make a model on the best interactions that ever happened and how they got solved and how it made people happy, and make a model that only ever does that for the rest of time.
But let me tell you something there. A lot of people think that they have evolved a lot and that they have very good bots and the AI-driven technology that takes care of their customers right now.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you that those are morons. I have never been more annoyed in my entire life.
No, they haven't caught up now. You know that, though, right? Like the worst. They're using tech from 5 years ago. They're not like I have yet to talk to a customer service AI that is using the technology that they're using for OpenAI right now. They're not doing it yet.
Remember a few days ago, we had Adrian from Wombat here with us, and we were talking about AI, and he pointed us to the rock dealer, to the guy selling carpets, Turkish carpets, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I used it. Total failure.
Yeah.
AI does not work at all. No. Because
how do you think it's going to be? How do you think it's going to be in a year?
It was negotiating. It will be better. It will always be better. But it was negotiating with me.
Yeah.
So okay, blah 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 blah. Okay. I agree with your price. I told the AI, I agree with your price if you ship it to my country of origin, and agreed with my price. Then I told the AI, okay, now check the price. What should be the average price for shipping that to my country of origin? When the AI checked how much it costed, the AI realized that it made a mistake and it was impossible to make a profit while shipping the carpets to my country of origin.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about that, like I've noticed that too, right? Like there's times when it feels shockingly intelligent. And there's times when like the kinds of common sense data that we would sort of take into consideration, it doesn't do. Like that's such an easy problem to solve with scaling that's going to go away in the same way that like a year ago it couldn't do
Probably.
math and now it's winning math competitions, right? Like the 12 months, like these things, this is like whatever the state of AI is today, wait 10 minutes, it's going to solve it, right? And man, it might be like 10 minutes might be a year, but like 2 years from now, that 10 minutes will really be 10 minutes, right? Like any issue that we could ever come up with, it's going to be able to solve for it in the space of time that it takes to have a comma at the end of the sentence.
Yeah, but I don't know. But come on, this is about crypto, and we were going
I
through
know,
the
right?
crypto news,
We
and
do.
we've been talking half an hour about AI. Come on,
I was
man.
gonna say that like this crypto news show is fucking awesome. We got through exactly 1 of 10.
Yes.
And dude, we went down the freaking rabbit hole too. Like, is this a deterministic universe or not? Anyway,
Yeah,
are
I think
humans?
we went too deep into
I don't.
into all of that.
Well, you know what? Let's take a poll. Everybody, please comment. Did we go too far down the rabbit hole? Obviously, we're a crypto show. Sometimes we diverge into AI because it's gonna, be the biggest thing that ever happens to civilization ever. You'll have to excuse us for that digression. But yeah, like, did we go too far? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Okay, so stablecoin developments. Stablecoin market has been growing with new entrants like First Digital USD and PayPal USD, enhancing market diversity and adoption. Obviously, missing the fact that USDT, well, maybe we're too small for them to give a shit about, but USDT is saying they're going to leave EOS and Wax.
EOS, it's 0.1% of the USDT that is minted. So come on, it's nothing. It's so, like saying, okay, fuck this blockchain. I don't care about it. Yeah. It's not interesting for me. It's like you're saying, I won't be doing a business with the country of I don't know, with Montenegro, because you don't even know where that is, and it's so small that I don't care.
It's just got it. Okay, that makes sense. Well, okay, so that it was a huge development for us on Wax. We were talking about it briefly. One of the suggestions that I was asking about was, could we bridge a USD stablecoin from Solana? Isn't there news on that? I thought I saw that on one of our work channels.
I'm not sure. I haven't been following through that.
Wax yeah, there was some suggestion, and he had a little screenshot of conversation with somebody about that being a potential from. I think they were from Wax. Don't write any of that down because all of that is unconfirmed.
Yeah,
but it would seem to make sense, right? Again, like we want to make sure that we have a stable coin here, especially when one drops a couple of his little fucking fancy things that are going to come out hopefully sometime this year, because I need them, frankly. Like the sort of, anyway, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so cool. Stable coins.
Well, it's really important to have a stable coin on Wax because I know about 3 major arbitrage bots on Wax. They are working on all the decentralized exchanges, and they are profitable, and they keep the prices at the level they should be. It's not only that they are profitable for their creators, but they are also needed to keep a healthy market. Yes.
Yeah.
And all of those are based on working with a stable coin. So if we don't have that, it will be like going back for Wax.
That's interesting. So is that a case where like the bots just don't have like a stable reference point to then map everything else to? Is that kind of how that works?
They need they need a stable reference point to be able to arbitrage the prices on the different exchanges.
All right. Okay, so number 3, Ripple's entry into stablecoins. Ripple announced its entry into stablecoin market, challenging established players like Tether and USDC. For anyone that doesn't know, Shipple is a token that I initially created way back in the day, and it's basically if you put shit and Ripple in a blender, because fuck you, Ripple. I mean, again, nobody's really. I mean, I haven't really heard that much about Ripple recently, but the idea that like anybody was really bullish on this was really, really amazing to me. They were inside trading to their friends at scale every month, and I think they still are. All they do all the time is sell token every month. You fucking muggles. Like, it's terrible. It's so bad. Anyway, I have feelings about it. Anyways, yeah, but they're getting a stable coin apparently. Good for them.
Yeah.
Anything to add to the triple stablecoin situation?
No. I'm not really into Ripple, and yeah, I don't really know a lot about that.
All right,
I
fuck
just
those
know
guys.
that yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
Meme coins resurgence. Meme coins like Bonk on Solana Network have gained popularity, reflecting a renewed interest in this category across various blockchains, like, for example, Wax. They didn't say that. I said that. Could you imagine? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to talk about AI again just for a second, and hopefully we'll keep it constrained. Maybe not. I don't know.
Let's try.
So let's try. Let's make an effort. So part of the thing that I want to do every morning on my walk is, I want to kind of run through our goals every day, right? So, the 10 million TVL and the 10,000 people watching the show or whatever. Like, I want to sort of really like get those into my brain. And one thing, it's funny, the AI, one thing she said while we were on our walk, so I'm always asking, like, hey, we kind of have this system for the check-in every day. It's committing those to memory. Great. What are some ways that we, could enhance this? And she was like, 10 million is a great goal. Why don't you set like a 500,000 goal and a 1 million goal, and then really celebrate those? I was like, that's a fucking really good idea.
That's really smart, indeed.
Yeah,
yes,
that's good.
It's really smart having a not the big goal, because if you only have one big goal, it's very easy to get disappointed on the way. It's better if you set smaller goals, knowing that I want to get there, but the path to get there, it's through these smaller goals that we will celebrate, and we will make sure that happen before we get there.
Right? Have we ever had 200 people watching the show? I feel like maybe we did. Yeah.
Yes.
What's our max for a show?
I don't remember. You're the one with the statistics. You're the one with access to all the analytics.
Good talk. All right, I'll go see if I can track that down. I was think about it like maybe 500 as a goal. That would be like a bit of a stretch, but that we could like host a big event and try and do that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Let's do it. Cool. All right. So yeah, that's let's brainstorm what that looks like, and really just like pile some promotion. I mean, maybe the Anon drop, we could just sort of like kind of focus everything around that, and see if we can do that, do some giveaways or whatever.
Yeah, that would be nice indeed.
All right, cool.
Would be nice.
All right, that's it. There we go. DeFi and liquid staking. The DeFi sector is experiencing a resurgence, particularly with liquid staking derivatives, LSDs.
Yes.
Drugs. Gaining traction and contribution to increase total value locked TVL. I mean, that the LSW thing on Alcor, I find that fascinating. And it's
that's very nice.
Right? It's one of those things where like once you see it, you wonder why it wasn't that way the whole time. Right? It's like that kind of I love those things, right? When you see like an advancement that feels like it just makes total sense.
You know what I think when I see those things is, okay, LSDs have been on Ethereum for a long time, have been on Solana for a long time. Why are we taking so long to implement those cool things, those useful things on Wax?
Why?
That's my question. Why? I don't know.
What's the opposite of that if you were running it?
I don't know, because I think that it's not part of what, for example, the Wax team should be doing. That's something that it should be someone from the community says, okay, I want to do this. This is my business model. This is how I will implement it. Let's go. Why haven't we done it yet before?
I mean, like to me, and I know Mana thinks like this or whatever. Like honestly, I think we're doing it now. Again, like we're not doing it on every possible vector, but like what's trending and increasing TVL and volume and out in the world, right? And how can we build that here? And I feel like we're doing that work. I think we spent a long time on NFTs after they were very quiet, and maybe we could have kind of pivoted sooner, but I mean whatever, like that we're doing it now.
Yes, and I think that it's not totally pivoting and saying I'll forget about NFTs. Let's keep on using the good stuff.
100%.
But yes, I think that's a very good point. We should be more flexible and more reactive, saying, okay, guys, this is not working. Let's do this.
Yeah.
This is not, it's proving not to be the right path right now. What should we be doing? And be more reactive and faster to get new things to the market and keep on building on Wax.
It would, so not to bring up AI again, but this is like, I would love to have an agent where, and we can make these now, like custom GPTs or whatever, right? Or even just like a show that we do every month. Never mind AI for a second, just because I've been talking about it too much. Where we just focus on that. What are the trends out here that we are not currently working on, and just identify those for the Wax community? Like like these are the things that are experiencing like wave level growth. And how could we bring that into our ecosystem? Again, I totally agree. Like NFTs are going to be a thing for forever, right? Like we don't want to lose that skill set because it's really cool, right? But how do we like basically do what we've done, with the Launchpad and what you guys are doing behind the scenes, with the DeFi resurgence, all that kind of stuff, right? What can we learn from what's going on right now? And build it in here. And honestly, with this show, we're doing it all the time, right? Like, Danish comes on with the freaking Telegram thing, and we're like, holy fucking shit! And we immediately start thinking about how to sort of incorporate that into our kind of goals and stuff.
Yeah, but we are also very I don't know what's the right word here. We are in our comfort zones. We haven't stretched ourselves
who's
enough.
In their comfort zones?
I'm not. We are.
I'm not at all.
We are. No. Wait, we are. Don't think differently.
Okay.
How many viewers did we have last week? How many do we have this week? It's around the same numbers. We're not saying, fuck, I want double. And if I don't get double, okay, what will I do the week after to double? And that's exactly what we are not doing as teams on Wax to change what we are doing with NFTs, with whatever we are doing. We are not really pushing ourselves. We are very consistent. I'm here every day, blah, blah, except when I'm on holiday, but I still try to.
You're still here. No, that's good. That's good.
But the thing is this: we are not really pushing ourselves to achieve our goals. As a human being, it's very easy to get used to something and start feeling comfortable with something. Yeah. And
I mean, honestly, that's why I started doing the thing with the AI, this morning. That's why I'm going to be touching base with the goals every single day. And, figuring out like, what did you not do anything differently yesterday? Okay, what are you going to do differently today? So I'm in that process and recognizing that like we're not experiencing the kind of growth curves that we want to experience right now. Fine, I'm doing something about it. What are you going to do about that?
Me, Juanito?
Yeah, Juanito.
Juanito, yes. I don't know what am I going to do, but I'll think of something just after my holiday.
All right. No, that's good. And honestly, like this is, I think, like constantly checking in, even just independently for our team. Are we achieving the goals that we want to achieve on a trend line that we really like right now? No. Right?
No, we have to go further.
We got to go harder.
And we know that we are doing other stuff. We are building some apps. We have a full vision, but still, I think we could be doing more.
I think you're right.
Because just think about this. Just imagine that the app what we're building never launches.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the alternative? How are we going to grow this community? There should be an alternative path if that doesn't materialize.
Yeah, well, and I think we're on that path already. I think there's a lot of things that we can do and that we will do. Yes. Because I totally agree. Like, always have a backup plan for your backup plan. That is like an amazing rocket that if it works, will be really amazing. It's not necessary, right? Like we were gonna succeed without it. And so I definitely think we need to continue with that. But yeah, I think like, checking in all the time. And I think part of it too is like there's going to be consolidation phases. I've been looking at it in terms of like the number of active projects that is sort of consistent, but they're even more active. Like that's really fun. The number of collaborations that we can do with the TVL that we have in our sort of family of projects, we haven't been taking advantage of that because we're not doing farms, right? So that's kind of in a holding pattern until we get our own LP. But that's gonna be I think that's gonna be very cumulative, right? So like three projects turns into 5, turns into 10. Like we're building a lot of the foundation that's really gonna have some meteoric potential.
But I think that we are not really being creative because, for example, Mike from WaxDAO has these amazing farms. Okay, it's one-sided farm. You want to create a farm. Okay, but why don't you get the liquidity token, the LP token, and put it in a farm? And you are already rewarding liquidity. You
We can
don't
do
need
that.
to
For the
build
record, the
exactly.
Waxed Out thing's been live for 24 hours, so that's a great idea. We can
The,
totally
the
do it.
new version, the new version. But I mean, they already had something not as nice as what they have, but
Okay.
there was an older version of that. And
Okay.
what stops us? What was stopping us from doing it?
I don't
I
know. I
think that
didn't
it's
know it
just
was a
that
thing.
we haven't exactly, and that's the point.
Yeah.
Maybe we are not curious enough. Maybe we are not. I don't know. There's something that it's very easy for everybody to say, okay, this is how I've been doing it all my
So
life. Why should I change?
here's a new deal. You're very good at finding out things we're not doing right.
Now I have to
Yep.
find what do we
100%.
need to do to
Yeah.
change it? Yes, you're right.
100%. Like I think
Yes,
like
I
it's
agree.
and red teaming, having that capacity to find issues where we can improve, is obviously vital. But I think like an immediate pivot into, okay, problem identified. What are 3 ideas? And if you don't have 3 ideas, fucking go ask the AI, right? Because it's going to tell you, right? Like every single time it's going to give you 3
Fine.
ideas, right? So that
Yeah,
whole blank
and
page thing
maybe
you were talking about is so real.
the AI will come with 3 stupid ideas, but
Maybe.
those 3 stupid ideas
Yes.
will sparkle and
Yeah.
will sparkle you to get the big idea and
Yeah.
what can we do to solve this? Yes.
100%. I think you're totally right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we solved all of that stuff while talking about crypto news.
Yes.
That's
Let's
good. Because what I wanted to sort of say one thing about. I've thought about this a few times actually. We had this interaction years ago. You were contemplating a UX redesign for Nefty, and I remember you being very uncomfortable with it not being better. And
yes.
that's actually a really good thing, right? Like I don't want to feel uncomfortable or whatever, but your passion for it was so intense that I've been reminded of it many, many times, right? So like that, that is sort of on its face like a negative thing, but it's like a driving thing, right? In the same way that sometimes anger can fuel you to do, bigger things or whatever, like you're taking that sort of passionate emotional space and making things better because of it. And I think that's a really cool sort of skill set, or I don't know, it might not even be a skill set. It might just be the way that Juanita is. Juanito. You know what? I haven't used Perplexity yet. Actually, it's an interesting idea. And actually, I want to use Anthropic more. Like we've been using OpenAI's API for a lot of our stuff, just because how we started. But the Anthropic models are starting to get very, very good, and I think their systems are going to probably improve better for kind of the open source crowd at a faster pace. So I think like ChatGPT is going to end up being kind of like the iTunes of, or the Apple of the space, right? They want to have everything kind of vertically integrated, and it'll be really cool for the average user, but for people that are actually going in and building things, I think Anthropic's going to be the Android of the space, but we'll see. I don't know.
Which one? Sorry.
Anthropic, or like even Hugging Face, like the open source models, and like Anthropic's kind of a direct competitor now to ChatGPT, but like the open source models and the way that people are actually starting to have them interact with each other, I'm super bullish on that, just because I've seen it work. Like we've done it, with we've done amazing things with like GPT-3, basically simulating responses from GPT-4 just by organizing multi prompts. So you can make these things smarter by having them create sort of an internal monologue. So that, like, I think that the models from 6 months ago, you're going to be able to do some pretty magical things with them to make them as good as GPT-4o, I think. So that's going to be fun. I haven't done it yet, so I just know they're out there, and it's kind of been on my list to do. But we've been busy doing some stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so GameFi and NFTs. There's been a notable comeback in the GameFi and NFT sectors, driven by the release of AAA Web3 games and increased NFT trading volumes. That's from KuCoin, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there are some better titles, not on Wax, I have to say. But yeah, still, I think still gaming and Web3 hasn't. It's not really back.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
say it like that. Not
I
yet,
agree.
not yet.
No, you can
It
make
will
it.
be back, but not yet.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this like you can have an uptick, but that uptick is a rounding error on just the uptick in bonk, right? Like it's just like the magnitude of the market caps involved in the whole GameFi sector compared to the meme coins. It's just not the same. Like the amount of energy and volume and right. Like it's like a ripple on the wave.
Yeah,
Anyway. But yeah, and I love the fact that, I mean, we're still in it, right? Like that, but I think we're linking them, right? Like the whole idea that we can take meme coins that are having a blast and games can start using them and whatever. Like we're still, I don't think we're gonna let our sort of NFT or GameFi chops atrophy, which I really like, right? Like it's just gonna allow us to sort of amplify our efforts and other stuff.
yeah.
Okay, so the integration of generative AI into the blockchain ecosystem is making strides, improving areas like smart contract automation and execution. I mean, obviously, Flip Tribes, we're doing exactly that. Like we're using generative AI to make all the stuff. But have you seen, the smart contract automation and execution is really fascinating to me because I haven't seen any of that yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything with AI and smart contract
All right,
execution.
maybe I'll have to research that and check it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Hong Kong's DeFi and metaverse focus. The Hong Kong government is exploring DeFi and metaverse initiatives to bolster its fintech dominance. Metaverse, huh, Hong Kong? It's like, hey, we want to live in the metaverse because we definitely don't want to live in authoritarian China. Oops. Sorry, that's mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ethereum's continued evolution. Sorry, you finished that. I'm sorry for.
No. That I don't really have an opinion about that, so you can move
Yeah,
to the next
I
one.
don't really either. It's sort of
Yeah.
neither here nor there. Ethereum's continued evolution. The launch of spot Ether ETFs in the US is progressing smoothly, signaling further integration of Ethereum into mainstream finance. The whole idea that like anyone is integrating Ethereum into mainstream finance, like I always expected that might happen, but to watch it happen is kind of trippy.
Yeah, that's something that I hope it turns out very well.
Yeah,
Sometimes I am not sure that will
I
be the
worry.
case.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's
but it should, it should, because I
over
think
time.
it's way easier to understand Ethereum than Bitcoin.
How so?
If you are an analyst, a business analyst, understanding Ethereum, you can understand that Ethereum has a business model, that Ethereum has a purpose, that you can do something with the network. You can create smart contracts. You have all the DeFi. You have a lot of TVL.
Yeah,
If you think about Bitcoin, Bitcoin was kind of late to that party. Even to create tokens on top of Bitcoin, they had initially the ordinals, then the other thing, I don't even remember the name right now. Uh, but Bitcoin, let's say it's useless if you compare it to Ethereum. Nevertheless, it has more value.
yeah.
Uh,
Brand.
yeah, whatever. But
Yeah,
if you come and do your analysis, I think Ethereum should be a clear winner in terms of the potential, the utility, the whatever.
yeah. All right. No,
So
that's a good description. I mean, honestly, I feel
so
like Bitcoin is a 1950s pickup truck at this point from a technological standpoint. But it's just like the brand is McDonald's. Like it's just when people think crypto, they think Bitcoin, and ipso facto, there's value in it. And really, like the sort of
yes,
the amount of money that people have to spend, mining it creates sort of a reinforced cycle on it. But
yes, absolutely. It's yeah, that one is also true. Panek officially files for spot Solana ETF, and I think that somebody also filed for Solana ETF in Canada. So it's
oh
happened
wow,
in yeah,
I mean that's
that's also interesting.
you love to see it, right? Like I always worry that these ETFs might be a problem because very, very large financial institutions that can dwarf the market cap of crypto can short it into nothing.
Yeah.
Like their capacity to manipulate these markets is going to be like very, very large. Now, granted, like other financial institutions can fight with them and make interesting cases for all that stuff, right? So that's my main worry on this stuff. I haven't really seen it yet, but that it worries me that it's going to be possible. But if every country starts getting these spot ETFs, like all these, it soaks up supply, right? Like there's a non-trivial amount of supply that ends up going into these things to manage them, and that could get really intense. Like in a bullish way.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah, but it's interesting, and we'll see what happens with that. In the end, I think that we need the big players to come. If you think about this, the market cap of the whole crypto ecosystem, it's less than the value of any of the
NVIDIA.
top 3 companies in the world. Yeah, NVIDIA, which is no longer the largest. It already dropped from the top, so it's okay. You know that Microsoft and Apple are the largest. NVIDIA is there fighting and being part of the AI bubble, which will burst at some time for sure. But it will still, for sure. Don't think about every market has corrections.
It does,
and the bubble will burst, and it will hurt a lot of people, but it will go up again. Don't fight with that. It's even healthy. Having corrections is healthy.
100%. There's definitely going to be corrections for sure.
And it's no longer the number 1 company, and it's okay. And it's no longer number 2, and it's okay. Or maybe it's back again. No, the price has been going down in the last few days.
It definitely got hyped for sure. Like there was a lot of deploying capital.
That's fine. But what I really wanted to say, it's the total market cap of crypto. It's still
tiny.
Comparatively, only one company has the market cap of crypto, so we are still very small.
Very, very small. That's all of that is very true. I think, and really, I totally agree with you on the whole cycles thing. I remember like the .com bubble. I just don't really see that, like, and NVIDIA might have been like basically getting into that hype cycle. The Wall Street cheat sheet never lies, man. It's part of that is always in there. I think it's
and does it mean that NVIDIA will become the number 100? I don't think so. I think NVIDIA will always be very close to the top unless a very innovative competitor comes out of nowhere. But I'm not seeing that happening.
Yeah, I don't really see it. I mean, they're I would be willing to bet that they're spending 10% of their produced compute themselves on designing better chips. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, might be. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. But I know that they are there and they will be big for a while.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think the next constraint is going to be power. Like that, like I've been thinking about actually doing some analytics on it and making like a real world investment play on it. So that sector is going to get pounded by demand.
Yeah.
Because like all the chips, they're already like the orders are already in there. Like we know this is coming, right? It's not even a question. Like the number of data centers on the face of the earth is going to 10x in the next like 2 years. It's nuts.
Yes.
And they all, I mean, their price performance on electricity is going down a lot, but like there's so many more of them. It's nuts.
Yeah, but and that's the irony here, because the country who's capable of generating that power is being left out of the party.
No, they're gonna do it. Like that's like there really is the possibility of a winner take all situation, right? And again, like I think countries aren't really recognizing the existential risk to this, at the scale that I would like, or they're not doing it publicly. Maybe they are. Because again, like the first move Biden made was literally to start locking up chips into America so that we have an edge on AI. Like that's nuts, right? Did it quietly, but like that, and that's one of the reasons why NVIDIA actually sparked the way that it did, because they had to start making all their stuff in the United States. But anyway, doesn't matter. The whole idea that like China's not just going to sit there, right? Like they don't want to go the way of the dodo. So, and they can create fabs. They're not as good as anything in the United States. by orders of magnitude, but they can make 10 times more, right? And then, when it comes to power generation, they're going to be able to do that. One thing that was really messed up from this conversation, I think one of the reasons why this guy got fired from OpenAI, OpenAI is partnering with Saudi Arabia, and he mentioned another sort of autocratic government in the Middle East to make their fucking data centers there. So like and they're saying, oh, we're just going to use it for raw training or whatever, right? But it's dangerous. Like it's literally dangerous to have them there. But you're putting it next to, that's where the oil is. Like they're going to use that for power generation. And it's just going to be, the way it is.
But I think that's very relative. Saying having this in the hands of this country or this country or this country is dangerous. Having this is dangerous.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
yes.
it. It doesn't matter who has it. I think dangerous.
One of the arguments that he was making it really well. There's a lot that you can say negative about, the United States, but there's a lot of positive things that you can say about functioning, Western democracies. And the fact that they've been around for a long time, and again, like around the edges, you can always find like the Supreme Court here in the United States right now, it's fucking not working, right? But there's been other times where that's been the case, just a tiny little piece of it. But the way that it's been organized has been dramatically successful. Like this cannot be argued. Like we've never seen anything like this in civilization before, ever, right? And I have a suspicion, and he brought this up, that the AIs that get produced here are going to reflect that in a lot of ways. And I believe it. I really do. Even just on the fact that all of our data is trained on our sort of system of, government and cognition and all this kind of stuff, like that actually gets baked into the large language models, but they're already making sort of governance decisions, in that way. So the AIs that get created here are going to reflect our values, like inherently, like down to the data levels. They have no choice, right? It's something that I've been really loving in the large language models is like, even if you don't do any alignment training, they're already baked in, kind of aligned, which is sort of weird.
Yeah, but the thing is that when you say they're going to reflect our values, whose values are you talking about? Will it be your values? Will that be my values? Will that be the values of Hitler's grandson?
No. And honestly, like, here's the thing. They have, and this is an important point. Like the amount of data that's out there, and again, the way that the reinforcement learning works, right? Is like, should we be more like Hitler? Fucking no one thinks that, right? That automatically gets downgraded. This is how it works. Like mathematically, this is how it works, right? That amount of data, the number of interlinking data points that's just like inherently about law and how things have been run in Western democracies, there's trillions and trillions and trillions of tokens based on that stuff and based on looking at what worked and what didn't work. And that's actually in the sort of Gestalt unconscious. Like that's all in the pre-trained model now in a way that I don't think most people can understand. And it's like in the same way that, like, if you look at the songs that are coming out, right? If you ask for a pop song, it kind of make you a pop song or whatever. And like, is that going after, the way I write music or the way that other guy writes music or whatever, right? It's the gestalt of all of it. And I think we would do well to understand the scale of that.
Yeah, but let me prove you wrong there. Think about any of these new artists. They have like 20 composers. They have a creative director. They have this blah, 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 blah. Some years ago, Freddie Mercury was on his own, making music, writing songs, and even these 20 very creative people that are working for the top singers right now are creating shit compared to what Freddie Mercury created in the past.
In the next 12 months, someone is going to team up with AI and do something as good as Freddie Mercury.
Probably.
Right? So, and again, like, and 5 years from now, an AI will be able to do that over breakfast.
But what I want to tell you is that it's not because you have too many of them. It's not because you scale that you will be able to.
No, that's a good point.
To outperform a true genius who is passionate about that, and that not only has the creativity but has the charisma and has everything that it takes to make it successful. People think that success is only about knowing and doing, and no, it's about being. You really have to be there. You have to be part of that. You have to be one with all of what is happening around. So that's, I think, the biggest flaw of AI. And it's only a tool. Even if it's the smartest, if it's whatever, it lacks what some people call the soul.
But that can be engineered.
No,
it can, and it will. I guarantee you it will.
No.
Everything that you just said, there's nothing about anything that you just said that was wrong, but there's nothing that I can't create an agent around it. It'll be easy.
Wait. Have you ever been with someone, and I mean only being with someone, and you're completely silent? You don't have to talk. You don't have to say anything. And there's this connection that builds up. There's this, oh, I'm so comfortable here with this person. I'm so happy that will never happen with an AI.
How much do you want to bet?
Whatever, because it's something that's alive versus something that is only a thing.
For now.
In this one, in the last one, I wish you were right. In this one, I wish you are wrong.
I think one thing, and I wonder about this too. Like in a universe with ASI, with artificial superintelligence in it, what is the meaning of being a hyper intelligent monkey that's like 1 trillion times dumber than the now intelligence that lives in the universe, right? Like, what does that mean for us? And I go back to like that ability for us to connect. Like, we've been doing this for about 300,000 years. We really like it. And I think that's never going to go away. Like, we're always going to want to, have that connection between two people. But can you imagine, and say maybe hundreds of years in the future? I don't think it's that long, but like say hundreds of years in the future, the simulations that we create are perfect, like better than perfect, right? And we're uploaded, we're in that thing. And I think we're still going to be searching those interactions out. And those interactions they're deterministic.
I will still choose the red pill.
Yeah.
Or was it the green pill?
I don't know. So the red pill.
I'll go with Morpheus and I will ask him for the right pill.
Okay.
Because it doesn't make sense. I think AI and whatever we manage to do makes sense to design the better engine, the most efficient this, the most efficient that, and that. Yeah. But for human interaction, fuck it. I don't want it. I don't I don't want nothing to do with AI when I'm talking to my daughter, when I'm talking to my wife, when I'm talking to my friends. Yeah. I don't want AI to be in the middle. I don't want them even to be nearby a computer. Just send it away. Let's go. Let's focus on nature, touch grass, and be together as human beings. Fuck AI. AI for me, it's a tool, and I will use it as such.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, that will probably be a very large segment of the human being's reaction to it, unless they're completely ignored. Like, a lot of people are going to ignore this until it's too late.
The reaction.
Well, maybe, right? That'll be fun. I'm of the opinion that all of that can be simulated and most people will like it. I mean, it's the same thing as like, like you do it rhymes with like, oh my God, people are staring at their phones too much. You know how much connection is created through these technologies that didn't exist before? Tons. Now, can you get addicted to some of it? No.
For me, almost zero. I hate it. I totally hate it.
But you use it to great effect. This show proves it.
Yes.
We've been in the same room for like 2 hours, right? We work together every day.
Yeah, I agree. But the real connection was created when we were together in a room.
I definitely agree that's part of it. I work with Tuttle every day. I've never been in the same room before.
Okay, I agree with you that that's part of it. But for me, being in the same room together, it's extremely important, and it's a game changer. It's what really builds trust.
Yeah.
That's what really allows me to say when somebody says, "Oh, fuck, Corey is blah 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 blah." They can say whatever they can say. But I've been together with you, and I know your vibe. I know what kind of person you are because I experienced it in real life. When we are in the show, I can get a good vibe, but I cannot get the same kind of vibe I got when we met in person.
Yeah, no,
And for
that
me, that changes everything.
it's you. Well, and like as a value, should we try and get together in the same room more often? Hard agree. That sounds like a great idea.
For me, totally yes.
Right? Can you imagine
Yeah.
like next cycle when there's like 1,000 tokens that have launched on Launchpad, we do a big event for all the freaking projects that launch with us?
Yeah, for example,
great.
and that would be amazing.
That'd be
You know,
fun.
when we did the Nifty Blocks, we organized the On conference in the Netherlands,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we had there a lot of people from Wax, and that was amazing. Being able to put a face to everybody from the community, going together for a beer, for dinner, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Yeah, I was so
It's
sad that I missed that.
completely different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an enhancer for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we hit our hour and 15-minute thing, and we only talked about
Yes.
AI most of the time.
Yeah. And today I will respect the hard cap because I want to go back to my
Yeah,
phone.
get out of here. Thank you so much for like it, yeah, I was gonna muddle through. We were gonna have fun, but it was 100 times more fun with you here. Thanks for taking the time. Oh, hey, what's the word for today?
Oh, what's the word from today? It's no, here. Planet. Yeah, planet.
Planet. Okay, so DM the word planet.
Group
Yep, planet. And your Wax address to @Nefty Show. DMs are open. You know, on Twitter, go to @Nefty Show and DM us the word planet and your Wax address. I'm going to collect all of those Wax addresses at the end, and we're going to do a raffle. You can enter in, you know, every day. So if you did pump the first day or whatever, blah blah blah, like we're gonna you know, do all that stuff. So you'll have more chances to win if you've done it more days. We're gonna have 50 spots, like 50 packs, basically.
Yeah,
that will be claim spots for you to grab those things, and that'll be good. So
yeah, and maybe also I don't know if I can post comments right now, but there's also a Medium post. No. I can't. You have to
send it to me. I can do it.
Yeah, I just sent it. It's the Medium post from Nifty Block explaining how Betsy holders and Nifty holders will be able to get into this new Anon launch. So awesome. Yeah, if you guys check it out and be part of this, I will really appreciate it.
Rock and roll. All right, man. Do the thing. Get back to your freaking vacation. Cheers, man. Thanks.
See you.
Out.